Funeral services have already been held for 20-year-old Brazilian model Mariana Brito da Costa. She died Saturday after her hands and feet were amputated in a bid to save her life from a little-known illness called septicemia. CNN senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen here now to explain a little bit more about this. Some people may have heard of it if they've had a lot of hospital stays. Pardon me, just a microphone. But in case they haven't, what exactly is septicemia? How do you get it?
You know what, some lay people call it blood poisoning. People may be familiar with that term. Septicemia is a rampant infection in the blood that then spreads to the organs. You get multi-organ failure, and it often starts out as, let's say, a urinary tract infection, as in her case, or a skin infection or pneumonia that just sort of gets out of hand, and you get this cascade of infections, and it can happen very, very quickly, sometimes in a matter of hours.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At least my understanding is as you said, it spreads so fast. There's almost nothing that doctors can do to stop it.
Well,
right?
there's not nothing. I mean, they give antibiotics and they give support, they give intravenous fluids and all of that in order to stop it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I definitely want to make the point that, you know, Miss World, or I'm sorry, that this Brazilian model was very young. She was 20 years old. You can see her. She was a very healthy woman. This happened very, very quickly. And I asked several experts on this disease, how common is this to happen to someone so young and healthy? And they said very, very uncommon. They said, we see this all the time with very old people, with little tiny babies, with people who have immune problems. But to see it in someone like her is very unusual.
Yeah. Well, when do you get worried then? I mean, if you are in a hospital bed or you're being treated for something else and they start saying that word, septicemia, what do you do?
Well, you just said something very important right there, which is that if you have a loved one in the hospital for something completely unrelated to an infection, but let's say they have a wound in their skin and it becomes infected, you want to make sure that you keep an eye out. Is it advancing? Is this person developing a fever? Are they becoming confused? And really just work with the doctors to follow that, because that can happen. I mean, people do sometimes go into the hospital for, let's say, a broken ankle and develop septicemia because a lot of horrible germs lurk at hospitals. So it's definitely something you want to keep an eye on if someone you love is in the hospital with any kind of an infection, a urinary tract infection, pneumonia, a skin infection. Work with doctors to make sure it doesn't escalate.
Definitely wound care,
right,
I guess is what we call that, right? All right, CNN medical correspondent Elizabeth Collins. Elizabeth, thanks. Such a tragic story.